For May 29th, 2025. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please be advised that FATV is conducting an audio and video recording of this meeting for public broadcast. I ask that anyone else in the audience, and I see no audience, so no recording, other recording devices. And I will put my phone on silent mode, and everyone could. And
do we know if Charles is online by chance?
let's see.
I think I see another name up there. But
We may have one more member joining us by Zoom.
Keith, you're the only one who's online right now.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to take a roll call of those present. Mary Self.
Present.
Don Ostrowski.
present.
Andy Lepasti.
Present.
Ryan Gallagher.
Present.
Keith Scheno, present. Okay. Public comment period. I've received none, and I see no one in the audience. Moving on to item 2 of our agenda, review and approve minutes for the April 24th, 2025 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I motion to approve the meeting, the
Brian?
Second.
minutes for the meeting.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All against, say nay. Abstain. That's unanimous of those present. Update on the proposed street and pedestrian layouts for Moran Square and the Historic District draft information signage. The city is in the process of redesigning traffic and pedestrian flow from approximately North Street through the Moran Square area, going up about a block up Lunenburg Street and out Summer Street about the same distance. We've been asked to comment on it, and seeing that a major portion of this area or highway work in this section of the design is part of the Moran Square National Register Historic District, and we just received the designer's 75% design drawings, and I've sent those out for review for the commission members, and I'd like to bring up some images of those multi-page drawings, somewhat more detailed than the past group. And let me see if I can share this. Okay. Can see them on the screen here. Let me see if I can make this a little larger. Just to kind of recap, this is the eastern section of Main Street, going past the intermodal train station parking area. North Street is going up here, proceeding on down through to Moran Square area. You can see there's a traffic and pedestrian improvements being proposed, and it goes through Moran Square, which is here, Lunenburg Street, going up a little ways, and up into Summer Street, a small section. So that's kind of the scope of the project. The Moran Square Historic District, which is a National Register district, covers about 2/3 of this area and extends up and over and down a bit and a little bit out each of Lunenburg and Summer Street. So there's a lot of overlap in this district. Next is kind of the concern that we had when we looked at the 25% drawings, pretty much is in the Moran Square area, which is this area right here. And the main changes that are being proposed is that the traffic island where the Spanish-American War monument, the hiker, is being moved, and the island will not be there anymore, and they're proposing moving the monument to an area, a widened area of the sidewalk space in front of the Moran block, which is that light-colored granite building with the black dormer. It's about a three-story building on the corner here. Moving the monument into this widened sidewalked area, there's another monument plaque to the rear of the existing, on that existing traffic island that commemorates soldiers that were in both the Spanish-American War and in the First World War. And their plaque is there, and that's being proposed, moved into this wider island also. I can move on to the next. The next image is a kind of a close-up on this Moran Square area. It's been tilted a little bit. Instead of north being up, north is kind of up to about 130 on an analog clock dial. So Lunenburg Street is here, Main Street is coming in this direction, and Summer Street passing down toward the bottom. These dark patches represent crosswalks. In this particular drawing, it's kind of a blow-up. We can see ghosted in the existing traffic island here, the sidewalk in front of the Moran Block building, which is here on my cursor. And get rid of that block. And the monument relocation is in this area here. So they're making it so this curve is much more negotiable for particularly larger trucks to be able to make this safely without hitting the sidewalk or crawling over the sidewalk or hitting the monument area is their intention. You can see that the sidewalks in front of the new apartment building complex and the old fire station are being widened, making the crosswalks generally shorter and more navigable by pedestrians, more pedestrian amenities in front of the Moran Block and across the street, better safety pieces, locations, directions for pedestrians and bicycles, and traffic control.
Yeah, less long crosswalks are a good idea.
Yes, and
How many of us have started to cross, with the walk sign, get halfway across and says, don't walk.
yes,
Oh, maybe I should go back.
yes. Which way do I go?
Like a squirrel.
Looking at these drawings in more detail, there was signage saying when it's blinking, you can still walk, but you have to make yourself go, or if it stopped, anyhow. It's kind of,
So you have to stop to read.
yes, if you have to stop to read once you're in the middle of the highway. Okay. So this is, the many details to this, and kind of the major piece that's affecting some of the historical elements is obviously the Spanish-American War Monument that affects the National Register Historic District. So we're making some comments and suggestions perhaps that can be passed on if necessary. This next drawing is kind of a blow-up of the Moran Block building, which is kind of in this bottom area here. This shows the widened sidewalked area, and this is the driveway that goes in off of Lunenburg Street, just past the Moran Block building here. So the Moran Block building extends to here. I believe there's a bit of parking, and then there's another large building and with a couple different food establishments there. So the old sidewalk was very close, is very close to the Moran Block building. It's probably 8 or 9 feet wide and kind of follows where my cursor is. So we can see that they're making this radius for the turn much larger here, so the traffic can go a wider turn on this right turn coming around, and making hopefully the sidewalk or crosswalk a little shorter. There's a lot of utilities that are running in this part of the old street, kind of beyond the existing curb, and the current 75% design drawings is showing the monument being relocated. This is the square base of the monument here, in a little planting area that's kind of a hexagon, or hexagon, I guess. It's not an equal angled, a 6-sided figure, we'll call it that. And the monument stone for the dual war plaque is believed located just behind that. This is a marked up version of that same thing, showing in red Summer Street, Lunenburg Street, the outline of the Moran Block building. And this is the relocated statue here. These little circles with a 3-pronged V coming out of them are proposed ground lights that will light the 4 sides of the monument. And this is the little plaque stone that would accompany it, according to their detail here. Also, they're proposing to put in an information sign, which is going to be like a tilted plexiglass-covered 24-inch wide by 18 inches high at wheelchair height, so anyone can read it from. And they're proposing that being located right here. This is the beginning of the ramp for the crosswalk. This is a planting area here. This is a raised granite bench. This is a raised granite bench. And all of this is, again, a ramp down for the crosswalk onto the street. This is actually might be ramping up a little bit in this one. I can't remember which way it is. So this is moving the actual edge of the statue to about 10 feet away from the face of the Moran Block building. I checked, it does have 2 bay windows that get closer to the top because they overhang a sidewalk. The bay windows are more in this area here, not right next to the statue, or it might be a little bit close. And there's another one over on this side. So this is the proposed location that they're showing here now. It does not show which way the monument is facing. I would presume that the hiker, the soldier shown with the rifle at his waist, is going to be facing out that direction. But from what I could tell, it's not really noted on here. Any questions on this drawing or thoughts?
So far, so good.
All right. This, just a couple details I pulled off that are relevant to this. This is the hiker statue. It has a granite base with plaques on 3 or 4 sides. This is the base that they're proposing putting it on, which extends beyond the side of unknown dimension beyond the side of the granite base. I'm a little concerned about the finish on this in that, and maybe the depth of it. It's 12 inches deep and sits on some 8 inches of gravel. This is a fairly heavy monument. Oh, this might hold it in general, but it does not go below frost. Will be done at a quarter of. So. So that's kind of one personal concern. Also, if you've been in this vicinity and shows on some of their grading drawings, this is a fairly steep slope coming down in the face of the Moran building itself. So there is a drop of about a foot or almost 18 inches along this side of the building, just at this monument area. So if there is this big concrete base underneath that, and the planting bed is going to be somewhat sloped also because of the adjacent sidewalk right here, how much of this base is going to be exposed, and is it rough concrete and so forth? So I'm saying that we should maybe comment on that, and maybe there should be maybe a pedestal that comes up out of the footing that's the same size as the monument, perhaps, that goes down to the widened footing down below.
Right.
And my thought is it should go down to 4 feet, which is frost depth, just to make it more permanent.
So what exactly is welded wire mesh?
It's a heavy gauge wire that's in squares. Sometimes you see it when they're making sidewalks or whatever, they'll have this wire stuff down in it, and they pour the concrete around it.
All right.
And it keeps, concrete will expand and contract in different temperatures, and it's called a temperature wire. It keeps it from cracking and things when it moves around, so it kind of maintains the shape of it. And maybe that's enough, or maybe they should put real rebar in that bottom footing, which is a thicker bar that would give more stability than just welded wire. Since this is a very permanent thing, and I think tilting would have adverse effects to the monument in long term. There is no base shown for the granite slab with the plaque on it. This is a big stone that sticks up here, kind of decorative piece beside the sidewalk. They do have a base for this, how it's put in with some concrete or a gravel base or whatever. There's none shown for that, so I think we should ask them to show a detail on that also.
Is the same statue base going to be used? Are they just going to move it over, or they going with something?
I would hope that the granite base with the plaques on it certainly are going to be, that's part of the monument.
Yeah, sure.
And what's below the ground there is probably concrete. This is, but we don't know how deep it is and so forth. I think we can leave all the utilities so far that they know are existing are beyond here, so I think there's not a problem going down to 4 feet with the footing here. But it could be a note that to be careful digging in this, obviously dig safe and so forth, be involved. But for the stability of the monument and the longevity of it, I think that might be important. So this is the monument. I can write up a comment as I kind of spoke about here. Secondly, the ground-mounted light uplighting. There's 4 of these, one on each face of the statue base. These, I think, would be prone to be hit with any snow-moving equipment that goes around the monument. Any minor vandalism, it's easy to kind of tilt these in opposite directions or even yank them out of the ground or try to, or whatever. And my comment is I think they should make a more permanent type of uplighting that's more tamper-proof. These are LED bulbs, and they should be able to last a long time, so maybe us recommending if they are going to put uplighting on it, that it not be something that might disappear or be damaged pretty quickly. So,
Yeah,
in a very public area here.
The thought occurred to me too, because according to this, it's down 18 inches in loam.
Yeah, that's kind of movable.
Yes.
Yes, as we know. And even frost could push them around a little bit. So it's I'm sure there's wire coming up in the bottom of this, and it's regular regular voltage, 110, I believe I read in the piece, so, or 120. So it wants to be, maybe suggested it's a little bit more permanent. This is a detail of the plaque. The bottom of it is at 30 inches off the ground. It's in a pipe that is in a 48-inch deep tubular footing here, so it's fairly, it's standard is put into a deep footing on this particular one. This is the signage face on the tilted plaque, which is 24 by 18 inches. And we came up with a recommended draft of the signage that I shared with everyone before. Again, this is not done by a graphic designer, but kind of the content that we were hoping to put into it. This is to introduce people that are perhaps just waiting for the pedestrian sign, or people walking through Moran Square, to show the Moran Square National Register Historic District with the heading on it, a map showing a star or some other location device saying, here you are, and maybe the street names larger and so forth on the final graphic piece on this, but showing the boundaries of the Moran Square National Register Historic District. The Moran Square is here, the old fire station is here, the old Harper or Tarbox Furniture or the Brown Bag Filling Station, Filling Machine Company Syndicate building is in this location. The Fitchburg Machine and Tool Company, which is now Fitchburg Plumbing, and wonderful old historic building. Also, the Willow Street apartment building that was, again, where the numbers are specific buildings that are in the Moran Square Historic District. And we have on the right side, kind of lists by number, which each of those particular facilities are in chronological order in this particular layout when they were built. So 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. On the left-hand side is a description of the Moran Square National Register Historic District and an old panorama view of it, which is 1882. It's a bird's eye drawing of this particular area from over a century ago. And lastly, a panel describing briefly the Spanish-American War Memorial with an image of these particular pieces. And lastly, for information about the historic district, you can go to the MACRIS listing of the National Register District application that has lots and lots of detail, probably 80 pages long, and an explanation of what a National Register of Historic Places designation means. So this would be on that tilted plaque, and I think I did kind of a blow-up of it, and this lettering is fairly large that you could read it casually without your readers on, I think, if you're standing waiting for the light change. Also showed on here the MBTA train station and the future connection to the Twin Cities Rail Trail. So we think those would be in kind of important pieces. Again, this is a rough draft. We haven't seen any updates from their design team on this yet. So, and we said we would give them better or good quality images of this photos, old photos and things if needed.
So just a question, number 3, C.H. Brown and Company, and it has the word moved twice. Wonder if that might...
Number 3, there is the C.H. Brown and Company steam engine building,
And then 21.
and then the pattern company, pattern model company building. So there's 2 buildings involved with this number 3 that are both C.H. Brown buildings, but the little kind of 1-story brick Greek Revival building that's painted white, just you can see it behind the original 7-Eleven store off of that parking lot. So that's the pattern building. It was actually moved up from Main Street along with the big, what is now the Willow apartment building and the chimney. I think were all moved by no other than Mr. John Moran, who built the Moran Block building and moved lots and lots of buildings. So, so that's why there's kind of 2 listings there, and they're both C.H. Brown buildings. So maybe that can be, you're suggesting maybe we could put it in 2 pieces, or
I'm just wondering, someone
looking at it. Or,
looking at it said, well, what does it mean
Yeah.
moved? Moved from where?
it was moved back, but maybe we need to add something and move,
Yeah,
move back. So, because it shows it right up against the street here. It's actually, just for information, this is the Willow Street Apartments when it was the C.H. Brown Steam Engine Company building, and it was right on Main Street. And right beside it is this, the pattern, making models and patterns for, I believe, their machinery that they created there, was right up beside it. So they moved them both. I think this building was actually turned a little bit when they moved it, but I'll have to take a little bit closer look. So comment is that we should maybe change the wording on that a little bit.
I wondered, yeah.
For clarity of somebody looking at it.
Clarity, yeah, somebody.
Move back
looking at
would be more, move from where?
Yeah, move from where.
Yeah.
But it's limited space, so you can't go into it. And on the other hand, I don't want to drop the words moved, because that's vital information.
We could add 2 backs into that, I guess, if that,
Something like, maybe like now located at,
Indicating
move,
because
that it's.
that it's
it was
at a
not
different
always
now,
where it
yeah.
is now.
no, yeah, we'd have to put in another number to where it's located at, so maybe move back 50 feet or something like that, or.
Or maybe just leave it as it is, and let people try to figure it out.
Yeah. What do you mean? I'd be happy to put moved back. Yeah, maybe it needs some work on it, so we'll try some. Any other comments on this particular?
I think it looks great. You know, you say it wasn't done by a designer, but the design looks great.
Yeah, thank you. The next piece is that at the 25% drawings, they proposed adding to the streetlight poles that are being placed in this project, that they put on a banner at about 12 feet above the ground level, Moran Square Historic District on a banner there, which I think is a nice touch. The one piece of it is that although there are streetlights going up this direction west on Main Street also, which are not in the district, so I believe the signage should only be on streetlights that happen to fall within this boundary, which is eliminating some of them on the western end of their particular project that they're working on. So I think, so there's not saying this is Moran Square up here at North Street. It's not Moran Square Historic District. So I think making sure it's located in that area. And one thing that I didn't include in this is, but earlier today I sent some information document about when we created our downtown historic areas brochure. We also had the volunteer graphic designers create some street signage for that, which is in a kind of the same color scheme as our brochure is, with dark, deep red, brown background, with lighter lettering on top of that, that could be used in this particular area here, maybe following, as we're hoping to get our proposed signage in the other Monument Park, Crocker Field, the Academy Street area that hopefully is going to be approved soon as a National Register District, and hopefully the Upper Common Historic District as that's happening, and being able to follow that, the same color schemes that I'm recommending to us to consider, maybe showing that graphic here, not having the QR code and stuff on it, because this is 12 feet up in the air. No one's going to be able to read any more than these 4 words here on that sign. But we have a pretty good description of it on our little street panel that's in front of the Moran building. So maybe just for continuity of design, that maybe we could give them a design of what we have on the future historic district signs we're going to be using in the other areas. So. Any other comments?
I think the banners are a good idea. Gives a concept of this whole area as, one.
Yeah, and it's great. It's great they're proposing them here, having it on each sign, but maybe we can have just using the color scheme that we have on our other proposed street signs we're going to have for the other districts up Main Street. So.
And I like the shade because where the light
shines down.
Shines down rather than up.
Yeah, yeah. That's good for, also good for night sky.
Yes.
Unless it's shining on a snowbank. And it goes back up again, but that's only part of the year. Okay, any other comments? Okay.
I noticed that this is more, naturally, it's more solidly based. It's a concrete footing
Yeah.
in contrast to the loam.
Yes, and this is quite tall
Speaking of
also.
loam.
Yes. And I believe that goes down 48 inches as a minimum, so, yes. So that's kind of the typical frost line for construction and foundations in this area of Massachusetts, so. Okay. I will write that up, perhaps a draft I'll send to everyone, and then catch me if any comments on it. Good. Do we want to take do we need to make a vote on that, or?
I don't know what we would be voting on. Are we voting?
Yeah, it's hard,
You think we
it's
need
not
to vote on
specific.
something?
It's not specific, it's kind of general comments and our feedback to the other city agencies that are helping to make this process go through. So it's a few years out that we'll actually see this work done. We're just kind of anticipating and giving our feedback now. So.
Well, it looks like they are being very careful. I'm giving a lot of thought to it.
Yes, and we appreciate being able to give comments on it. Okay, moving on to item number 4, recap of the May Preservation Month to City Council presentation. That was the May 20th City Council meeting. I think that was a success. We had a lot of good comments, and thanks those of you that kind of helped attend. And I think we got a lot of there was a lot of interest from city council, and they perhaps appreciated it. Update on the project to document and share Main Street building histories, the historic districts, tax credit, other restoration reuse incentives. We've been working on this for a few months now, maybe half a year or more. Andy has helped to get some historic photographs of individual buildings in the downtown area, and we've found some other, we've come up with a layout to kind of present these. I'm looking to see, I'm kind of not helping by putting a lot of the text in, and I've kind of run out of some time, and this summer I'll be probably have less time to work on it. Looking to see if there's someone that could, we have the template being to put in the information, seeing if there's any other volunteers that would like to help kind of fill in the other historic data, research on Macris and stuff to kind of, we can work at 5 different properties at a time or something. I can maybe help pick the properties, and then the team would help produce these documents. Do I have any volunteers to help with that? Or
I don't mind helping.
Mary? Great. Thank you very much.
Just, is there, as far as creating the database, is there been any thought as to how we would get the database up and running?
So far, I've gotten most of the information from Macris, just putting in the address, and most of the buildings have a history like that. So it can kind of fill in pretty much coming from the data that's on Macris or some other documents. I can share what I did for research on, or did the various research spots that you can take a look at. So, great. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, we have just about 6 more minutes before we're going to try to wrap up our meeting. We have another council meeting after this. Update on Monument Park repair, fencing, and proposed tree planting. Next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, June 6th at 11 a.m. in the morning, we've been invited to participate in the 1,000th tree planting, the project that I believe it's DCR is working with Parks and Rec and other agencies of the city on adding shade trees throughout the city. And this 1,000th tree is being proposed to be one of the trees being replanted in Monument Park. So just that announcement. Members, if you can come to that, 11 a.m. in Monument Park. Friday, June 6th.
Meet at Monument Park at 11 a.m.?
Yeah, there'll be a group of people, the mayor and councilors, and a large crowd. So I think representing Historical Commission, it'd be great to have some members there too, so if you can. Update on Historic District demolition delay.
Well, we're still waiting to hear from Felix and Liz about that meeting.
Yeah. Let me do a follow-up communication with them. Moving on, so we can wrap up here. Update on preservation of historic stone walls and stone structures.
Same thing. Ditto.
Yeah, I made a good push at the council presentation, the importance of
Yes.
the quarry stones, at least, in the city, and kind of our geography as being something we kind of overlook as being a special city. So maybe that's kind of an inroad to kind of working more of how can we build awareness for this, including
It's
early or post-colonial time of stone walls and pre-colonial times.
Well, it's not an uncommon phenomenon for people living in an area to just kind of take for granted something that's there, and then outsiders come in and say, oh, do you realize what you have here?
Yes. Once they're gone, and particularly stone walls or some of the city's history in stone walls is gone. Lastly, in a couple minutes here, new business. Just for looking at some things that the commission might be interested in looking at over the next time period are the possibility of Fitchburg being involved with the Community Preservation Act. There's a website here. Maybe looking for one or more individuals in the commission that might want to do some research on what it is, what the advantages, what the disadvantages are, what other communities are doing it, what other communities like Fitchburg are doing it or not doing it. So a little research to report back in the coming months. Second one, I'm suggesting is a review designation of a certified local government. Another volunteers who to maybe take a look at this. Again, seeing this is more a designation beginning with by the National Park Service and involvement in creating National Register districts, et cetera, with local participation. We have, as a commission, we have no say in National Register districts. But if we were a certified local district, I believe we would. So some research on that. Again, so volunteers for either of these two?
Well, I'll volunteer for either of the two.
Okay, do you have a preference, being first?
Whatever.
I'll put you down for the
Community Preservation Act.
sure.
Okay.
And for the certified local government, anybody interested in taking that on?
Nobody else?
I can take a look at that.
Okay, Andy, good. Great.
Okay. Very good. Thank you much. Our next meeting is June 26th at 5 p.m. here at the Legislative Building. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion that we adjourn.
I have a second.
Second.
Aaron? All in favor?
All right.
So adjourned. Meeting is over.